Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. We made it to Sunday. We struggled this week, but we made it to Sunday. Oh, man. I got some new equipment here, and it's working sort of. So, there's a clip I'm going to play today. I don't think I played before. If I did, pretend I didn't. No, I don't think I did. But anyway, we're going to start with McBurney, though. I like McBurney. His voice, his low voice sort of like wraps around you. And then he has this real low voice, but then it goes real high at points. So we're going to start there. My dog's going to start with us.
A lawyer to speak on her behalf.
I know Ms. Rios had worked on this, but it sounds like something I can stand in for.
Yeah, she emailed me yesterday
Okay.
about her, and actually she was gonna be the same case as Mr. Mitchell.
Okay. Ms. Rios emailed you yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get Ms. Torres on the screen. Whoops, she just moved. There we go.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Victoria, go to bed.
Are you Ms. Torres?
Yes, sir.
Great. I'm Judge McBurney. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
I am in receipt of your motion where
Yes,
you
sir.
asked to see what we can do with the remainder of your probation.
Yes,
And
sir.
let's get on the record in your case. It's 11 SC 100718. So it's a
Yes,
case from 2011. And the notes I have suggest that you've got 1 year and 2 months basically left on your probation. So that was a long probation,
Okay.
but it's almost done. 1
Thank
year and
God.
2 months. Ms. Torres, tell me why you are in prison right now. For what?
I'm here from Fayette County.
Everyone's in from Fayette today.
Yes. Oh, Lord. For destruction of government property, which was the video camera in the police car, and driving with suspended license. And so they put me on probation. I violated the probation.
Why did you have something against the video camera in the police car?
I didn't actually. It's just day before Valentine's Day. I did not want to go to jail. That was just,
All right.
but yeah.
How long is the sentence that you're serving right now?
Okay, Fayette County, Judge Pruthinger revoked all my probation, which was 3 years and 11 months to serve. My TPM is January 2026, but I have 8 pick points, which are frozen right now. They haven't actually applied them. So God willing, I should be able to parole out in either May or July of this year.
You sound like a veteran of the Georgia Department of Corrections. I understood very little of what you just said, other than that if you don't do well in your remaining months, you're stuck there until January of 26.
Right. Yes.
But if you do all right, then you might get paroled out as early as next month.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. But your max is January of 26.
My maximum release date is 2028.
Oh, 2028?
Yes. My TPM is January of 26.
Oh, okay.
The tentative parole month.
I have a translator here in court, so
Okay.
we're good. All right. So if you did really poorly in custody, you're there until 2028.
2020. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Ms. Rios, Ms. Wood said you had done some thinking about this case.
Yes, I haven't been able to talk to Ms. Torres, but I did reach out to Ms. Simpson, and we talked about she said she was going to revoke 6 months and then just let it so it all be running together. And I think she said, would you say revoke 6 months and terminate?
Yes.
Just given the age of the case. Let me ask you this, Ms. Torres, if you get out next month or in June, will you still be on probation out of Fayette, or because or you be on parole for a few years?
I believe it's parole.
Okay.
She terminated all my probation, so I'll be on parole.
Okay. Is that your understanding, Ms. Simpson, as to what would happen? And I know parole and probation are different, but is the math sort of the same? If this judge revoked, it's not exactly right, but 3 years, and Ms. Torres does 9 months of those 3 years and then is paroled, would she be on parole for 2 years and 3 months to get to that full 3? She's just not in custody. Okay, so there's supervision involved if we close our case out.
Yes,
This
sir.
Fayette. Got it.
Yay,
Okay.
Monica.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dilligard, did you look into Ms. Torres's situation?
Yes, Judge, and I spoke with Ms. Simpson prior to, and we're in agreement with the recommendation of revoking 6 months and terminating the.
That seems to be the theme for today. Okay. All right. Ms. Torres, when you
sir.
get out, where is your home base? In what county?
It'll be at a friend's home in Sharpsburg, Georgia. I don't know. I'm not sure what county that is.
Well, it's south of here. It's not in Fulton.
No.
Okay. Okay.
It may be Clayton. I'm not Sharpsburg. I'm not really sure.
Okay. That's all right. It's not Fayette either.
No, sir. I don't
Okay.
think it's Fayette County.
All right. Well, if you don't have any other questions, Ms. Torres, I am inclined to revoke 6 months.
I sure would like to see the dash cam of her breaking the cruiser's video before you sentence, Judge. I don't think you should jump to any conclusions until we all have seen her kicking, I'm guessing, the video camera in the cop car. Please? Please? No? Fine.
Of your probation 11SC case because of your revocation in Fayette County, and then terminate the balance. So we're basically closing out your Fulton County case so that when you are released, either soon because of your points that are frozen or on your TPM, you will be on parole out of Fayette, but not on probation out of Fulton. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Rios?
No, you're right.
Ms. Simpson, do you have what you need to do a revocation order? Okay. The basis is the violation of probation in Fayette, I guess. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Works for me. Anything else, Ms. Dilligard?
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay. All right. Well, I like the headsets they give folks at Arendelle. That works real well. They need to do that at some of the other facilities.
Yeah, I like them too, but not this facility. I like them better when I'm out.
All right, Ms. Torres.
Thank you, Honor.
All right. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Judge, if
We might hang out with him a little later. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, geez. This is so my monitor broke, which is why I couldn't stream, because I have another monitor, but I can't stream off one monitor because I have to show one monitor and then I have to stream. I have to, do all the stuff, the videos and everything on the other monitor. So I go to buy a new monitor and they have this TV on sale, this Roku on sale. It was a big sale and it was way cheaper than all the monitors. So I thought, bet, let's do this. I knew the picture quality was not going to be great because you can't really, on a TV, you were all, we're in the 80s. Remember when you sat up real close to the TV, you can't really see it. Well, I thought it'd be fine because I still have my other monitor. I could look at it's really not fine. It's long. So my mouse has to travel the whole way over. It wants to go somewhere. And I put the speed way up of my mouse, but it still has to travel a long way. And the picture quality is terrible. It's not just bad, it's terrible sitting this close. So, but it's okay. We're gonna figure this out. All right, let's go down to Georgia. It is not Judge Reeves. It's just not. But it's still, I mean, Georgia. We're going to Georgia.
You have, let me ask Mr. Jenkins first. Do you have anything you want to say, or do you want to do it now in mitigation, Mr. Daniels?
Judge, just that my client has a pretty low IQ. He has had issues with Mr. Gordon, the alleged victim in the case. Prior to that incident, it had been going on for a few days. My client felt that he was threatened. He felt that his life was in danger, albeit that it may be it was a result of his mental deficiency. He kind of reacted, Your Honor, and we believe that that's what caused this incident. Judge, and immediately he did cooperate. He actually let the officer actually go into the room to retrieve the gun, and he stayed on the scene. So he never ran. And Judge, he truly did believe that he acted in self-defense. There's body camera footage that actually shows that he said that, you know, I haven't done anything wrong because I believe that I was justified in my actions. Now, albeit whether or not that was justified or not, we do believe that that had a lot to do with what was going on in Mr. Jenkins' mind at the time.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, before I ask you any more questions, do you have any questions about anything that's happened up to this point?
No, sir, but,
Is there anything else that you would like to say, Mr. All right, go right ahead, Mr. Jenkins.
so, you're right what he said, I was threatened to, if you see me walking, you're gonna put a hole in me, you're gonna shoot me. I was threatened. I told him I don't do threats, you know, I'm gonna walk away, but, I was threatened. I remember that. He said, you're gonna put a hole in me if you catch me walking.
All right, do you have any other witnesses to call, Mr. Daniels? All right, Mr. Jenkins, you can have a seat right over there. And Mr. Daniels, I'll let you go first, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Childers. So call your first witness, Mr.
Call
Daniels.
Brittany Hall, Your Honor.
Hall, all right, Ms. Hall, come on up here. Let's see, that is witness. Come on right up here, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. You can have a seat there. And Mr. Daniels, you can swear her in and proceed.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're going to give the court this morning is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Pull that microphone down just a little bit, please. There we go.
Please state your name for the judge.
Brittany Hall.
Okay. And Ms. Hall, where are you from?
I'm from Blakely County.
Okay. And how long have you known Mr. Jenkins?
My whole life.
Okay. What's your relationship to Mr.
I'm his cousin,
You're his cousin?
Yes.
Okay. First cousin, second cousin?
second cousin. His mom and my mom are first cousins.
Okay. And how much time have you spent around Mr. Jenkins?
A good amount of time.
Okay. Have you had to help him out at all in life? Or?
Yes. When it comes to like paperwork, I fill it out for him. I do all paperwork for him.
Is there any specific paperwork that you remember filling out for Mr. Jenkins?
I did his job application when he went to Paul Landscaping. I filled out his worker comp application from Paul Landscaping. I filled out a workers' comp application when he left the city of Cochran. I did some divorce papers.
Okay. And where was Mr. Jenkins working at in June of 2021?
Nowhere.
Was
He
he
was
working?
on workers' comp from Paul.
The workers' comp, the paperwork that you actually filled
Yeah,
out
the
for?
paperwork that I filled out.
And can you tell the judge why you actually had to fill out that?
Because he didn't understand. They gave him letters. He called to my house. I read and I try to explain it as much as I could. and in any information that they needed, I filled it out, and he took it back.
Do you believe that, Mr. Jenkins can read and write?
No. He can write his name, but as to say he can probably read it, but he won't understand it.
Okay. And how do you know that?
Because when I try to explain stuff to him, he'll just pick one thing out of it and forget everything else I've explained, and he'll repeat that one thing over and over and over. Like he's too hyper-focused on one thing, and nothing else matters. But one thing might be something simple as a date, or he missed the big picture of the whole thing.
Do you think you think he has an issue with comprehending
Comprehending,
things?
yes, I do.
Do you think that he ever blows anything out of proportion?
Define, blows it.
He just doesn't like get it?
He doesn't get, yes, he doesn't get it at all.
And do you know Mr. Jenkins to be an aggressive person? What's his reputation in this community?
He's not, he doesn't, Boog, I'm finna call him Boog.
What is his nickname?
Boog is his nickname. He doesn't bother nobody. He stays to himself. He does what he does, and he go home. He likes to shop, but he basically stays to himself. He doesn't bother nobody.
How old is he?
He's born in 74.
So that would make him around 50.
50 years old,
around
yeah.
there. Okay. And does he have children that you know of?
He has 3 children, a twin, boy and girl, and an older boy.
Can you speak to that relationship that he has with them?
It's a very good relationship. His oldest son and his spitting image, they're very good. Every time I see them together, they're happy.
How old are his children?
His twins are 19, and his oldest is 20, in his 20. I can't say the exact age, but he's in his 20s.
And do you have any knowledge about this particular incident that happened at the budget in a hotel?
I have no knowledge of it.
And do you believe that Antonio has any type of like mental deficiency?
Yes,
And is that based on
my experience with
been around
him.
him?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the judge that would be relevant to the situation today?
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Micah. I hope you guys aren't echoing.
You said your name was Miss Hall?
Yes.
Miss Hall, do you know what he's originally charged with?
Murder, I think.
Well, it's felony murder. And do you know what felony murder actually carries?
Life without the possibility of parole.
That's correct.
Yes.
And you understand this is somewhat of a negotiated plea. It's a cap plea, so you understand what a cap plea means?
No.
Okay, so if I may explain.
Sure.
So it means that I'm going to not ask for no more than this, but he can ask for less than this. A cap plea means it stops right here. It wouldn't go any more. So it's left up to the judge whether he wants to go with what I have or go less. You understand that now?
Yes.
So we went from, so you understand we went from possibility without life in prison, without possibility of parole, to down to involuntary manslaughter, which is a 30 serve 15.
Yes.
And do you think that's a fair offer? If you don't know, just say, I don't know. That's fine.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. No further questions, John.
All right, you can step down, Ms. Hall. Thank you. Who's next, Mr. Davis?
One other witness, Judge, Ms. Melissa Jenkins.
All right, Ms. Jenkins, come on up, please. Good morning, Ms. Jenkins. All right, Mr. Daniels, you can swear her in and proceed.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the evidence you're going to give the court is the one who's going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Melissa Jenkins Cade. Melissa Cade.
Okay. And Ms. Jenkins, how old are you?
I'm 48.
48. And what's your relationship to Mr. Antonio Jenkins?
He's my brother.
He's your brother?
Mhm.
Okay. And Can you describe your brother to the judge?
Well, kind-hearted. He's more to himself. I'll say a loner. He loves to talk. Once he got something on his mind, he'll do a lot of talking.
Is he an aggressive person?
No,
Is he a violent person?
no,
Do you know him to get arrested and get in trouble?
no.
And did you see him on June 16th, 2021?
Yes.
Where did you see him at?
He called me, so me and my sister ended up going to the hotel. Yeah, said he had told her that that he had just shot somebody.
Okay. And did he tell her why?
He said the guy kept on poking at him and messing with him and wouldn't leave him alone.
Did he express any type of fear?
Yeah, he was just upset. He just wouldn't stop talking. He just kept on saying that he to me, he sounded like he was scared, but he didn't know how to handle the situation. So we couldn't calm him down, but he did tell that what had happened at the moment.
Okay. What did he tell you happened?
That him and the guy had got into it, and he was just doing what the job had told him. They told them that they was in charge. Him and the I guess the daughter of the people who ran the hotel, they was out of town, and he said that he just came up to him, bickering about what the situation was going on in the room and stuff, about going to his room and stuff.
How long had Antonio been living at that hotel?
I know ever since I think he was working with Paul and had the incident with his foot.
Was he out on workers' comp?
Yeah.
Okay. And since he had been out on workers' comp, were you aware of any type of other mental deficiencies of Antonio?
Well, not at the moment. I can't.
Was he in school? How was he in school?
Oh, in school he was in special ed classes.
He was in special ed classes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess he was calm. I couldn't really tell you besides I know he was in special ed classes.
Okay. Have you had to help him out at all?
Yes, I had to do applications. He'll bring mail to me. I'll read the mail for him. And most of the time he'll have to sign his own signature, which at the time I'm thinking that he needed glasses when he was in school, but he never wore them. So when he writes real tiny that you can hardly,
Are you aware of any things that have happened to Antonio over the years that may have contributed to him acting maybe a little bit irrational on that particular day?
Only when he upset. I mean, he don't know how to let it go. He just try to talk it out and keep repeating stuff over and over,
Has he ever been threatened before that you know of?
Yes.
Can you tell the court about that?
When I was like, one of my best friends used to come to the house and stuff and visit me all the time, and him and her got into it. Really don't know really how, but they had some words, and I guess she got upset and went and told her dad, and from my understanding, people started calling the house saying that he was at the store and the dad had approached him and pointed a gun to him.
How long ago was that?
I was in like high school, so it was like in the 90s, early 90s.
What was the effect of that you've noticed on him since that happened?
I guess from that far on, he was more like trying to stand up for himself and be like, not to show fear, but I think it did something to him mentally where he just didn't know how to deal with situations like that. But I think he started carrying like license to carry. You know, when he got older, I know he did have license to carry. So for his own protection, I think that's when he started getting guns and stuff.
Do you think that Mr. Jenkins has any type of mental deficiency?
Yes, he'll say he doesn't, but yes.
Yeah. And has he ever been evaluated that you know of?
No.
And how many children does he have?
3.
3 children. Is he close with his children?
Yes, his son. I just talked to his mother, and he taking it real hard because he always called them from jail. You know, he always keep up with them and contact with them, and he called them a lot. And I know for a fact that the oldest one is taking it hard. So, yeah, they really close.
And you said that you saw Mr. Jenkins on June 16th. Did he, in your mind, express to you that he was correct? Did he act like he did anything wrong that particular day?
And that day he was saying that he was saying that he was protecting himself, that, you know, that he did what he had to do because he didn't want to get got. He felt that he was going to get hurt before, you know, the guy got, you know, the guy was going to get to him first. That's how he felt if he didn't stand up for himself.
And is that something that he kept repeating at the scene?
Yes.
That he had been threatened?
Yes.
And what about since he has actually been in the jail, what is his demeanor like on visits when you go and visit him?
To me, I got the impression that he snapped and put everything behind. He didn't really take on what he actually did. We kept on telling him, trying to, you know, this what happened, you shot somebody. No, he was saying, no, I'm just here on a gun charge. And
where do you think that was coming from?
I think he just snapped. I don't know. He put it in the back of his head, and I think he really probably felt that he couldn't do nothing like that, but he did. He couldn't probably see himself doing it, and it ended up changing, just flipping.
Did it appear to you that he was having some type of mental breakdown?
That's what I think it is, a mental breakdown. It was a mental breakdown.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge?
Growing up with him, I know we always like silly, have fun and stuff like that, but I never did see, you know, real anger come out of it. I know he always loved to repeat himself, and, you know, if something is on his mind, he'll keep saying it constantly, you know, trying to, even though he can't get it through anyone about how he's feeling, we probably wouldn't understand it, but through his mind, that we tried to talk him down, you know. But I think he was more like all right with people saying, yes, you okay, yes, it's gonna be okay, instead of you're wrong. I don't think he can accept that he's wrong, you know, but he can accept that, you know, somebody listening and saying yes to him.
Do you think that, what's your opinion of Mr. Jenkins' reputation for peacefulness? Do you think he's an aggressive person? Do you think he's violent?
He's very positive. He's the type of person that love to clean. He don't mind helping people, and he's a clean freak. I mean, move furniture around clean, go out in the yard clean. I mean, he'll work. He's a workaholic, but, you know, he can't keep up with the job sometimes that he's working on, but he'll go at his own pace. But other than that, he's good with people, friendly.
Was there any facts or anything that kind of gave an indication that something like this was going to happen? Would you ever imagine something like this happen?
No.
Based on how you know him?
Yeah.
Is that a no?
It's a no.
No further questions, John.
No question, John.
All right, Ms. Jenkins, you are free to step down. Thank you, ma'am. Anything else?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Mr. Childers, you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right, call your first witness.
Oh, Sharon died. Put a gun on my head. They don't know all that. I'm very intelligent. I can catch on quick.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the court here today?
Yes, sir.
And put your hand down. Will you state your name for the record?
My name is Shaquana Gordon.
And Miss Gordon, are you related to the victim in this case?
Yes, he's my uncle.
Now, and state his name because he goes by a nickname too.
Yes, his name is Lewis Gordon. We call him Tremaine.
Tremaine. So when you or another family member are speaking, you usually say Tremaine.
Tremaine.
And I get
Or Maine.
confused on that sometimes. I apologize.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, and you wish to give a victim impact statement today?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you say it this time.
As I was sitting here listening, I just want to say, for one, me and my family really would like to go ahead and get this done and put behind us so we can have closure. I understand you have kids. He has a child too. He is going through it. We're all going through it. Maine is not here to speak for himself for what happened, but somebody got to speak for him. We go through it every day, wondering when are we going to finally get justice for what happened. And I understand they say you have a mental problem, but as I watched you and you did it again, you said no, you're shaking your head no, which makes me feel you knew what you done and it was wrong. You could have walked away. It didn't have to be like this. You had a weapon, he didn't. I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what took place, but my family is hurting. We are still suffering all these years later. His son is finna graduate. His dad won't get to see him graduate. Your kids can still talk to you. They can still see you. They can even hug you when they come and visit. But my uncle, that's over with for us. We have to go to his grave to visit him. Birthday, holiday. Matter of fact, we're finna get ready to celebrate his anniversary death in July. It hurts. It hurts. And what you did was wrong. It was wrong. And I just ask that we get the justice that we deserve. Because we are so ready to put this behind us, especially his son.
Do you understand what he's charged with the felony murder and the aggravated assault?
Yeah.
I think it was 4 years ago. So this has been going, they've been waiting for a while.
Yes.
And you understand that the state's has made you understand what a cat plea is?
Yes, sir.
And you understand the state has reduced the count 1 to the voluntary manslaughter?
Yes, sir.
And I know that you may have different feelings and you may think that it should be more than 30, sir, 15. I mean, is that correct to say?
I want what's fair.
Okay.
I want what's
But
fair.
do you think, you understand the process we're going through?
Yes, sir.
But are you asking the court to stick to the 30, sir, 15?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
No further questions, John.
Mr. Daniels, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gordon, you are free to step down. Thank you, ma'am. All right, who's next? Mr. Childers.
Will you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the court here today?
I do.
Will you put your hand down when you state your name for the record?
Cassie H. Sparrow.
And Ms. Farrow, you and I got to know each other quite well over the years coming to court. Is it true to say that you've been to court here just about every time that we've had court
Yes.
in this case?
Yes.
You had another case that a family member was killed, correct? And you came to court on that. So you're
He has
familiar with coming to
years.
court.
Yes.
And how are you related to the victim?
I'm Tremaine's sister.
Okay. And you wish to give an impact statement?
Yes.
Now, before we get into that, you brought a piece of paper with you up there, and I gave you that paper this morning, correct? And can you explain to the court what that is?
It's a letter from his son.
Okay. And Your Honor, just for the record, the son cannot be available today. We did contact him and told him of today. He is, I suppose he's still in high school, and he wasn't gonna miss any high school. It's getting kind of close to the end of the year. But he did write a letter, and I have that letter, and she has chose to read it, and I've already spoke to defense about that. So if you want to speak first, or if you want to read the letter, whatever.
I'll read the letter. It says, "Hello, my name is Contavious Gordon. I was 12 years old when my father, Lewis Gordon, was taken from me and passed away in 2021. When my father passed, I was very sad and depressed. Therefore, it caused anxiety and a lot of worried thoughts going through my head. The most anger I felt was when my father's life was taken. My father, Lewis Gordon, was a good man and loved me so much. Antonio Jenkins, you did not have to take my father's life like you did."
So this was a hard one because I know the victim's family is saying what a great guy his father was. But, you know, they were in an argument, and the father was telling this guy that he was going to put holes in him. You know, he was saying he was going to kill him. He didn't have a gun, but he was saying that, and no one disputed that. And I don't, you know, they were together they lived in like this hotel. They both lived in this like hotel. So I don't think the father was as innocent as the family obviously is making him out to be. And, but that doesn't mean he deserved, you know, to die that day. He did have a gun. He didn't have a gun. He felt scared, and he has a very low IQ. So it's just, the whole situation is shitty. And yes, he has 4 years of good time. 4 years of he was already in jail 4 years for this already. So he's already done what, 8 years. If he was okay in prison, he gets day for day. He's already done 8 years technically.
There were other ways that you could have dealt with the situation instead of killing him. The passing of my father took a huge role and impact on me in school. It was very hard to focus in school, knowing that I would not be able to call or see my father anymore. My father would call me every day just to check on me and see how I was doing in school and at home. We would talk to each other about anything and everything. Sometimes we would just call or FaceTime each other and hold the phone and talk for hours. In those moments of conversation, he would talk to me about being responsible, taking accountability, staying out of trouble, being respectful, and how to be a man. He was very big on me graduating and being a better version of him. Not only did you take away from me, but you also took away from my mother, leaving her to raise me alone. Today I am 16 years old and I will be graduating in high school this year in May. Antonio Jenkins, my father, would not be able to share this big moment with me because of your actions. Not only having him here for graduation, he would not be able to see me graduate from college, get married, or have kids one day. I would never be able to see my father, nor be able to call him when I need him. Every time I think about this, it makes me angry and very sad. Every day I am missing and grieving my father because of your actions to kill him. My father would be so proud of me because the accomplishment that I have made with him not being here to see or share them with me. Graduating, going to college, getting a career job, and having kids one day are the moments that my father would have said, "Job well done" of. Becoming the man I knew you could be. I pray each and every day that God's given me the strength to forgive you for killing my father, so I can be able to move on in life. I also pray that God has mercy and grace on your soul. I want my father to get the justice he deserves. In conclusion, I am in therapy and anger management classes to help me cope and deal with the loss of my father and to help me not to become someone like you.
And you wish to make a statement yourself, correct?
I do.
All right.
I would also like to say, I'm still hurting. My family is still hurting. And I don't care how low of an IQ you may say you have, or anybody else may say you have. You knew exactly what you were doing, and I think you knew exactly what your intentions were when you did it. Now you just got to take accountability of what you done. You took someone away from us, and I'm so tired of going through this situation over and over and over. And I just want you to know that thank God for Jesus, because now I have to forgive you for what you've done. But I don't want that distinct from the fact that you got to take accountability to what you've done. And justice got to be served, because this has to end somewhere.
Ms. H, you understand what a felony murder is?
Yes.
And you understand what aggravated assault is?
Yes.
And you and I have talked before about the cap negotiated plea. Even though you and I butted heads on conversation before, you understand that?
Yes.
And you understand that that the cap plea is a 30 serve 15, and the judge can go lower than that. And what are you asking for?
For the judge not to go lower.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Daniels, any questions? Hold on just a second, Ms.
No,
Court.
Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Barrow, thank you for your time. You are free to step down. Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else? Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the court here today.
Yes, I do.
You'll put your hand down and state your name for the record.
Antonio Farrell.
And Mr. Farrow, you were married to Miss Farrow that just took the stand,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
And so this was your brother-in-law. Tremaine's your brother-in-law?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Will you wish to give a statement?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead this time.
Well, family done been through enough. We done been through enough. I know you. I went to school with you. We were in the same class, same grade. I know your family. I know how you carried yourself. And some of the things that were said about you were correct. But the situation that occurred wasn't correct. It wasn't correct. I done did some stuff I shouldn't have done. Sometimes you got to swallow and turn your back and walk away. I have to look at this, I have to face this every day. It ain't hard, man. Decision ain't hard. You can't go back.
Hi, leaders.
You can't. Ain't nothing you can do to go back and bring Shemaine back. We miss him. I miss him. It probably was some things said that he said to you that made you angry. But we're not kids. You're a grown-up. You had a weapon. He did not. I hate it happen, man. I hate it. They say, I know your IQ. I know what classes you took. I know all this stuff in school. But like I said, you can't redo, man. You should have thought about it. My decision on the time is just keep it where it's supposed to be. I think you got to deal with what you done. You got to face it. You got to face it.
I hate it for your family, I hate it for this family. They standing up for you, the family standing up for him. Like you say, we got to go visit him in the graveyard. We can't talk to him no more.
Yes, everybody,
But they can talk.
everybody agrees that he can't read, he can't write, he has a very low IQ. Everybody agrees that.
Kids still can talk to you. You still gonna get a chance to come back. It's rough, man. It's a rough situation. I never had an issue with you. You know, like my wife say, may God have blessing on your soul, man. You got to face what you did.
Oh my God, I thought the same thing. So when the guy on the stand was like, you know, I went to school with you, I know you. I don't know. I wonder if he was in special ed too. That's the first thing I wondered when I first watched this.
Judge, that time, I think that's enough time. It should be more, but I know things happen. I think that's enough.
Hold on, just say, any other questions, Mr. Childers?
So I know you said that, you saying that you understand what the cap plea is, you understand what that is.
Yes, sir.
And you know what the felony murder is, it's been reduced to voluntary manslaughter, you understand that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you and I have talked about this, and you and I have known each other a while now.
Yes, sir.
Outside of the courtroom.
Yes, sir.
And we ain't always jihad on certain things, but you're telling the judge needs to keep it at the 30 serve 15, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Daniels, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Barrow, you are free to step down. Thank you, sir. It is Barrow, right? B with a boy?
Pharaoh.
F as in Frank?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My apologies for that. I'm correcting it now.
I believe that's all I have, Your Honor, only argument, and I suppose I would carry the burden, so I just have an argument. That's
Very
all.
good. All right, Mr. Daniels, you care to present your argument on sentencing? And if you do care to make such an argument, please tell me what you are proposing and how you recommend or suggest to the court to construct this sentence. Go ahead.
Well, Your Honor, first I'd like to give my condolences to the family, Your Honor.
Thank you, Terry.
As the
Thank
attorney,
you.
It's not a good position for me to even be in, Judge. I was born in this community myself, and I lived here until I was 10 years old. I went to school with Mr. Farrell, who just got off the stand, friends with his brother. There is no winners in this situation. And unfortunately, we got two families that are in pain and two families that are hurting. And unfortunately, there was some stuff that happened at that Budget Inn hotel that should not have happened, Judge. But I do believe that had the case gone to trial, the evidence would have shown that my client certainly is not all there. And I understand that, you know, that's not a get out of jail free card here in the state of Georgia. I understand that there must be some consequences, and there will be consequences here today, Judge. We're just asking that you consider his mental state, consider how he grew up. You've heard from the witnesses. No, I don't think I need to reiterate what they said, Judge. You sat there and listened intently to what they were saying. We're just asking, Judge, that you sentence Mr. Jenkins according to this factual situation, that we don't believe it would have happened had he not been threatened. He certainly overreacted, absolutely. But that overreaction came from his mental deficiencies. You heard one of the witnesses say, Judge, that he can barely read. We don't believe that he had the mental wherewithal to form the intent to commit this
Not me.
crime. So, Judge, we're asking that you sentence him to 30 to serve somewhere between 5 and 7 years. Like I said, Judge, there's no winners in this case. Both sides are hurting. Both of these gentlemen have children. Unfortunately, Mr. Gordon's children are never going to see him again. And we just asked for a reasonable sentence, Your Honor, based on the circumstances and on the facts. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Mr. Childers.
Your Honor, the days of settling disputes and beefs with these two things right here are over with, long gone. People want to pull out a gun. And you know, everybody wants to argue, well, we need to ban guns. We need to do away with guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. They use that gun. Instead of settling their dispute with their fist, or instead of walking away, they take that easy road and they pull that gun and they want to shoot it. We can sit here and say, well, he didn't have the mental capacity. Well, Your Honor, if the court remembers, he was actually...
Don't say hello to him.
Well done. And that's the reason we're at the point we're at. That's the reason we've taken so long to travel this road that we've been on to get to the point that we're at, is because we've done all that testing. We've tested all that. I agree his mental capacity is probably not that of a normal person. It's a low mental capacity. I understand that. But that does not take away of him pulling the weapon. He probably should have never got the weapon to begin with. But I don't make the laws. I don't sit up under the gold dome up there in Atlanta, and I don't strike out the laws.
Micah, that hurt me
He
to delete
probably
your
should have
comment.
evaluated a little bit more before they gave him that. But that is not my job, and I couldn't stop that. And he pulled that gun on a man that didn't have a gun. A man that was probably upset, I give him that. Probably was fisting to whip his tail with this right here. And he shot him. He took it to the next level. You know, the force you use is to equal the force that you or encounter. And it didn't equal the force he encountered. And I'm taking that in consideration on his mental capacity. That's the reason the offer has been reduced. That's the reason we're down to voluntary manslaughter instead of life without the possibility of parole, of felony murder. That's the reason we're at the point we're at. Your Honor, this family, they don't just call every now and then. They don't just happen to show up today. They sit right there and burn a hole in my back every time they come to court. They probably know me better than any attorney that's out there, because they're always here. And you can ask anybody that sits up here, they see them sitting right there every time. Every time we come to court, whether it gets continued, whether it's a status hearing, whether it's a calendar call, they're sitting right there on that row. And then I have to take time to talk to them because they're concerned. They want justice. And I'll be honest with you, it was a heated argument in the back when I said we're going to reduce this, because I took in consideration the mental capacity that this man has. But that don't take away from what he's done. A 30 serve 15 on this, on taking a man's life, is very fair, Your Honor. I'm asking that you stick with that and that he serve that. He will get that credit that he's been in, because he's been in for 4 years or so. There's not a break in that chain. I'm sure Miss Sanders over there is going to fill out that paperwork and send it in like she always does. She's not going to throw that to the side just because of whatever reason. That's going to be taken care of.
Only a little bit, but every time I listen to this lawyer, I hear Zig Ziglar. Do you guys remember Zig Ziglar? He was awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Zig Ziglar was great. He used to teach salespeople how to sell. If you've never ever heard of Zig Ziglar, just go listen to some Zig Ziglar, because his voice His voice was great. And you'll learn something. You'll learn the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
I'm asking for the 30 serve 15, Your Honor.
Well, while you're on your feet, Mr. Childers, even Mr. Daniels has indicated that the total 30-year sentence is something the court should consider, but since the maximum on both is 20, how is the state recommending that this sentence be crafted?
He could,
So did I, but his voice is what gets you. His Georgia accent, when he talks about his wife, he's just really good.
we'd have to do some math on that, Your Honor. We'd have to add it up. We'd have to split the sentence on the two.
Well, nobody's going to be surprised, and I'm going to come back to you, Mr. Jenkins, in just a moment, but while I'm on this technical issue, either way, everybody understands there's going to be some time to serve.
May I say one other thing, Your Honor, I failed
Yes,
to
sir.
say? I believe, is we did not talk about a fine on it. We was gonna leave the fine up to the court on that. So there hasn't, and being there is, we understand this is gonna be a split sentence.
Yeah.
We anticipate the court to set a fine, but we did not set a
I
fine.
understand. Well, regardless of what the court does, the sentence is going to have to be split in some way. And my first thought, before I bring you back up, Mr. Jenkins, is that it would appear to the court that one way to resolve it is to impose the custodial part of the sentence in count one, with the balance of 20 to be served on probation, and then to add whatever the court deems appropriate to count two to be consecutive. That would appear to be the only
Yes, Your Honor.
way to do it. All right, Mr. Jenkins, I want you and Mr. Daniels to come back up to the podium. Now, as everybody knows, and as you know, Mr. Jenkins, the court gets the last word on this, but do you have any questions, Mr. Jenkins, about anything that has happened up to this point?
No, so let's go forward.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to say before the court goes pronounce the sentence?
Say 20 on probation?
Well, I'm about to decide that.
No, sir, no, sir.
All right. Well, let me get my statutory findings out of the way first. The court finds that the plea has been freely and voluntarily entered. The court finds there is a factual basis for the plea, and the court will accept Mr. Jenkins' negotiated guilty plea on the two charges as was previously announced. And the plea agreement involved a cap, and that's what the court has to decide. Somebody said it, I think Mr. Daniels said it just a moment ago in his closing argument. Oh, by the way, do you have anything else you want to argue at this time, Mr. Daniels?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I think Mr. Daniels said it. It's difficult for everyone, including the court. These are not easy. And I know full well there is not one thing that I can say that is going to make any difference in the pain that both sides, both families have dealt with. I'm acutely aware of that. The only comment that I care to make about the facts of the matter or the evidence, the testimony, is, Mr. Jenkins, there are no do-overs when a 9mm handgun is fired at close range. as everybody knows. And to all of the family members that have testified today, Ms. Brittany Hall and Ms. Melissa Jenkins, and for the victim's family, Ms. Gordon and Mr. and Ms. Farah. It's brutal to have to go through this. I understand that. But Mr. Jenkins, today is Judgment Day. Somebody said that too. I didn't write down who said that. The court finds that the cap that has been submitted under the totality of the circumstances and in reflection of all of the circumstances involved, the court finds no reason not to impose the limits of the cap. And for that reason, the court is going to accept the recommendation of the state. The total sentence will be 30 years. The total time of confinement will be, as was stated, will be 15 to serve in the custody of the Department of Corrections, divided as follows. Count 1, voluntary manslaughter, be a total 20-year sentence, 15 to serve in the custody of the Georgia Department of Corrections, balance on probation. And count 2, aggravated assault, will be 10 years to serve on probation, consecutive to when the sentence expires in count 1, for a total of 30 due 15. I see no reason to vary from that recommendation of the state. Mr. Jenkins, the fine on count 1 of the probationary part will be $1,000 plus the add-ons that go with it. No additional fine on count 2. Probationary period will be served under drug and alcohol conditions, Fourth Amendment waiver conditions. You have a period of 4 years to file a habeas corpus petition from the date this sentence becomes final, 30 days to file a notice of appeal or a motion for new trial. Do you possess a concealed carry permit for a firearm, Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, I have one.
You do? And
Yes.
which county was that permit issued? Here, Bleckley County? And the custodian will actually fill out the form to give the exact amount of time, but I want you to understand, Mr. Jenkins, the court has absolutely no problem with you getting a full credit for all the time that you've served, whatever that date is. But I want you to understand, I don't set that date. Captain Jackson sets that date over there, and that they do that, not me. All right, and that I'm sorry, I said Captain Jackson, Captain Sanders fills out that form, not me. All right, Mr. Jenkins, you are remanded to the custody of the sheriff to begin execution of your sentence, and that will conclude this matter.
Thank you, Judge.
We are all adjourned. You're all excused. Thank you.
All right, I have 2 things that'll bring us back up again. I know we went down. First thing is really close. Okay. I didn't watch this. This is just this is Zig Ziglar. So you can see who he is. And I just went to where, I don't know, it sort of goes up here. There's a peak here. So let's see what he's saying.
And if there's not a word for stutter, how you gonna stutter? You kind of snicker a little bit and you say, well, that's kind of cute, Ziegler, but what's that dude trying to tell me? Here's what I'm trying to tell you. Words paint pictures. Then the mind goes to work to complete the picture. Now, that's the reason the words you use, the language you use are so important, because of those pictures. For example, think of the picture that's painted in the mind of a child when the parrot calls him stupid. Do you really think that makes them any smarter? Or does it have exactly the opposite effect? You're absolutely right. Bill Glass, good friend of mine. Bill is the former All-Pro end for the Cleveland Browns. And Bill does a lot of work in the prisons in America today. And he says that over 90% of the men and women who are incarcerated in our prisons today were repeatedly told by their parents.
So I've never seen him speak. I've seen pictures of him before today because back then, I mean, this was years and years and years ago that he made this, guys. And it was all audio. It was just audio books and regular books. So you could either hear him in an audio book or you could read his books. And I don't know, he pulls the words and he gets real excited and he tells so many stories. His stories are great. But that is Zig Ziglar. Yeah, audiobooks on tape. That's exactly what they were. So you bought them and they came in this I don't know, this like plastic book thing that you opened up, and then there's all the tapes inside and and you know, put it in your boombox. But when he talks about his wife and he talks about his friends, he has a lot of friends. When he talks about people he meets when he's on airplanes and things like that, yeah. I don't know. It's so good. Now, I have something even better. Guys, you are going to love this. You are really, 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 really going to love this. Someone sent me a link to a website today. CJ, wait till you see, wait till you see, wait till you see. Oh, wait, I have the link ready. This is a link to CJ's website, but wait. Wait till you see some of these shirts. Oh, go. Highly qualified. Look. Wait. There's more. Nailed it. These are all of her shirts that she has for sale. Wait. May. Wait, I want to see the little fitness one. Sorry. It reminded me of Lena's. Where is it? Hold on. It reminded me of Lena's and me at the same time. There we go. Let's face it. I'm never doing this. Lena's does that. That is what Lena's does, guys. And this is me. I am never doing this. You know, me serving is exercise enough. Let's go. Halloween. Quality writing. Quality. Like it's like cuddly. We've got that one wrong. I'm out of my tree. Koala mama. Koala sunrise. Tequila sunrise. I don't think so. Wait, there was a black background one. Maybe I have to go to the shirts. Not that one. There was another one. Nope, not that one. Maybe it was that one. For Fluffy's sake. That's what that says. For Fluffy's sake. Isn't it awesome? I put the link in the description. I wonder if she has leggings. Oh, and I need to know. Now I need to know. No, she's smart. She didn't just click every button the site had to offer. She chose her clothing well. Good day from down under. No, thank you, CJ. These are so good. These are so good. All right. Let's see. Let's just do this. I didn't watch this. It was 3 weeks ago.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm out of content. I had things going on, big things going on. And I didn't have time to get one more clip for today. So I'm going to use this clip, guys. We're just going to use this. He's here. Brooks, not Brooks. Come on, guys. What's his name? Is it Brooks? I think it's Brooks. But something's telling me it's not Brooks. Mr. Anyway, we're going to find out because he's a talker. Venus, you don't know how hard I'm working right now on things. You have no idea every single second of my day. Hi, Clarice.
Everyone for your patience.
You shut up, Kit Kat. Of course, we're going to cuddle them. You know what? You don't even know. The meaner the cat is, the more I want to cuddle it. I get cut from head to toe. I will cuddle that koala bear. I will grab it right from the tree. And then I'll be screaming, ow, 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 but I'll be cuddling while I do that. I'll need a patch on my eye for the rest of my life. I'll pee on it right back. I don't care. I will imprison them in my arms. Remember that Bugs Bunny? Remember in Bugs Bunny that monster? I think it was white. It was this great big white monster. I can't remember exactly what he said. And I will love you and hug you. And I remember Bugs Bunny was always trying to get away from it. That's me. I'm that monster. Don't they have herpes? Not yet.
Today, I know we're getting started a little later than expected. We are broadcasting on YouTube today, so if we can avoid using the children's names formally, I would appreciate it. And the names of our participants, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Underwood, lawyer guardian ad litem for the minor children.
Ms. Tasha Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Beach.
Ashley Beach, I'm the foster care supervisor from Fostering Solutions.
Michael Brooks, I am the attorney for Dustin King, father in this matter.
Your name for the record?
Dustin King.
Thank you. So we're here specifically as it relates to Mr. King, his progress, to review that as well as the parenting time. May I have your reports whenever you're ready, Ms.
Ms. Jenner, I was able to, since we bifurcate the parents, I met with the children probably about 6 weeks ago, but it's been between the last hearing for Mr. King, the younger three at least. They all seem to be excelling. They're doing very well in their placements, as well as the older two boys are doing very well in school. The oldest that's living in the foster placement is really starting to regulate his behaviors and his emotions. He is less fearful of people and things now. He's very lovable. He seems to be very happy. He wanted me to read him a story when I was at the school with him last time, and he's really starting to say more words and have more vocabulary. The teacher was concerned because the child had seen the police go by the school, and he hollered out to the class that we need to run and hide because the police are going to come and take us, which was a concern to me. So we're trying to figure out how to work through that. The younger boy is also doing very well in his school. He's enjoying that and he's learning a lot. He's getting the services and things that he needs. And the youngest child, the daughter who just recently turned 2, is really doing very well. She's making a lot of progress. Her vocabulary is also really starting to really explode, for lack of a better word. The placement indicates that she talks more than the boys, and once you get her started, she's not stopping her talking. But they all are very happy. They're all very bonded to their caregiver and to each other. So they're all doing very well.
They all did. They say how many kids there were
in that placement. The oldest child, who is just Mr. King's son, who is placed with his mother out of county, I have a lot of concerns about. I met with him in person at his school last week, and he's a happy kid. He's a resilient kid. But there are concerns in his home with his mom, which we have been trying to work through with jurisdictional issues and things like that. But as I'm sure it will be discussed more, we have been working with his school and Jackson County's CPS to ensure that there's a.
I am already unbelievably confused. I don't even understand what's going on. First off, though, Donald, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So this is the father. I don't know. Brooks, it is Brooks. I don't know if the mother is here at all. But I don't understand, because she said there are kids. There was an S on the end of that. It's plural. She said the oldest one, so that means there's younger ones. She said the oldest one was with the mother, or did she say his mother? Now, I've never seen this court before where only one parent was involved. I've only seen it where they take the kids from both parents. So I wonder if there's another father over here somewhere, because she said he only had one of the kids, and there are more than one kids. And she said that the kid was with, maybe he meant his mother. Thought she said the mother. Maybe when she said the mother, she meant his mother. Usually when they say the mother, they mean the mother of the kids. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Let's just keep watching.
Safety plans and some services in place for his mother and for him, so that his needs are being met. He does have some significant mental health needs as well as trauma that need to be addressed. And I think that we have a plan that's working well there. So assuming that all of those services are in place and his mom is utilizing those services and helping ensure that the child gets to the appointments and the things that he needs to get to, I believe staying there is in his best interest, assuming again that his mom is doing what she needs to do for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Testimony any opening comments from any of our other attorneys?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Great hair, Your Honor.
Thomas?
Thank you.
Ms. King, please keep your, Mr. King, you're gonna need to keep your voice down during the proceedings to avoid interruptions in the record.
Oh, good.
Ms. Thomas, testimony today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Miss Beach.
Okay, Deputy Ames, please join us in do.
Oh, wait, what a great last name, Beach. I mean, you would feel relaxed and fun every day of your life. And then when people call you a Beach, you're fine because it's your name. I love this. I need to marry a Beach. Lena?
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Miss Beach. Can you briefly state how you are familiar with this matter?
Yes, I am the assigned foster care supervisor.
And as a supervisor, do you meet regularly with the ongoing caseworker, Ms. Madrid?
Yes, we meet at least monthly to discuss the case and any needs. I participate in family team meetings, and then I also approved the report that was submitted.
Okay, and so you are familiar with the report that's in front of the court today, correct?
Yes.
And can you, just for convenience, I know that this has been adjourned a couple of times, can you give us the date of the report?
The report, I apologize, let me pull it up. It was submitted to the court on April 2nd.
Okay, and have there been any other documents that you're aware of that have also been submitted to the court? I believe there might have been like a recommendation or something.
Yes, Ms. Madrid did submit that recommendation letter from Ms. Moore.
Dad vigorously writes.
At this time, as I know that we're also here on, I believe, parenting time, but as it relates to the progress in this case towards reunification, how would you describe Mr. King's level of compliance with and benefit from his case service plan?
At this point, his mental health and instability is still our primary concern. We have had several service providers also express concerns about his mental health and paranoia. The children's CTAC assessments, his psychological evaluation, and the recent parenting time evaluation with Brene Moore echo concerns about his mental health and stability. So just that is our primary concern, is his instability at this time, and making sure that he's addressing his mental health needs. When Ms. Madrid and I met with him in April for a family team meeting, we discussed services that have been recommended for his psychological evaluation, which includes a psychiatric assessment, and he agreed to participate in that assessment, but was adamant that he would not take medication. However, he has a hard time initiating these services, and I think he has difficulty like managing his schedule and attending appointments. So Miss Madrid had to meet him at Adrian Counseling on Wednesday of last week to help him get that assessment started. So he did initiate that service with the help of Miss Madrid. We do not have the full psychiatric.
I don't just love her. I'm in love with her. Oh, yes. I think it's the hair.
Assessment yet. And as it relates to parenting time, it's been suspended for Mr. King since December. Dr. Park, who completed the psychological evaluation, recommends a period of 6 months of mental health stability prior to reinstating parenting time. And Ms. Moore provided that recommendation for parenting time, stating that he should not have visitation with his children until he is able to demonstrate stable mental health.
And then the other components of his case service plan, such as like housing and some of those basic, those baseline measures, has there been any progress or anything changed as it relates to the, excuse me, those things?
No, not to our knowledge and not at this time.
It was kind of
Mr. King has been hesitant to share information with us about his employment or where he is residing. But he says where he's residing now with a friend is not his long-term plan. So still unstable as it relates to obtaining appropriate housing as well.
Okay. And then you mentioned the employment. Is there any proof of employment?
Not that we've received.
Okay. Are there any other elements on the case service plan that you believe would need?
This is what happens when you get old. You forget words that you've always known. You've always known these words. So Chinny wrote that, and in my head, I heard party on blank, party on Garth, party on blank. I know their names, and now I can't remember one of them. Like, they were very close to me at one time. Michael Myers, what was his name on Saturday Night Live? Come on, help me out. Party on blank. Party on Garth. Come. No, it wasn't Wayne. Wayne? Oh man, I never would have got that. Miguel, you're right, because Miko said it and Crystal said it. It just hurts getting older. Getting older sucks, guys.
Attention during the sex review period?
Primarily, it's just addressing his mental health needs through participation in services and following recommendations from evaluations that are completed.
Yeah, that checks out.
And then we would also be referring him for parent education as well.
And has there been any started like parenting education or anything like that?
Not yet.
Have those referrals been made?
Yes. And to be honest, it's been hard to for Ms. Madrid to communicate with Mr. King at times. There have been scheduled meetings that he doesn't attend, and then there was a period of time where his phone was turned off. So we've had difficulty in that regard, but we will make referrals for parent education.
Okay, but has there been has there been good communication lately, or how have things been? I would say maybe in the last month or so.
I would say communication, his phone was turned off for a brief period of time. This over the last month, but he communicates, he returns contact with Miss Madrid. So
okay, and then one of the other questions that we or one of the other issues I think that has been sort of looming, the reason the children came into care was I guess, I mean, not just neglect, but also there were concerns about domestic violence. Has that been addressed in any way?
Sorry. Not yet. Yes, that is a concern of ours. That is something that when Mr. King begins engaging in individual counseling, we will ask the counselor to work on with him.
Are you aware of any referrals that have been made to any like DV specific services? Were you able to hear me?
No, I apologize. I froze.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if you were aware of any referrals that have been made to domestic violence specific services. Like I know that there's a class with John Bailey, and I believe that even Michelle Palmer does some. I was just wondering about that.
So Mr. King has completed John Bailey's DVAP program previously. He also utilizes John Bailey as a support when we meet for family team meetings and such. I can ask Mr. Bailey if we can make a referral for Mr. King. And then we can also look into the other option as well that you just provided.
Okay, thank you for that information. And then as it relates to parenting time,
if Monday really is windmill day, I'm spending the whole day just playing Judge Eric. I don't know if the gold statue's going to be there, but just him.
I know that you've already mentioned that some of the service providers or the service providers that have made recommendations would like to see some stabilization in Mr. King's mental health before parenting time begins. Do you have a way of measuring that? Or would you be looking to have reassessments? Just trying to get some guidance on the expectations to move forward.
We would be looking for updates on progress from service providers. So getting engaged in individual counseling and psychiatric services. And then yes, Dr. Park did recommend a reassessment after he starts to receive some of those services. So that's what we would be looking at.
Okay, and is there anything else that you'd like to report to the court today?
I don't believe so. I think Ms. Underwood
oh my God,
accurately described what's going on with each of the children. So I don't have anything else at this time.
Okay, thank you. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Beach. You would move to admit the court report. And I believe in addition to the court report, there was a later sent letter from Ms. Moore that we'd also like to admit at this time.
So by way of review, I have the April 11th, we received it April 11th court report. I have an email dated Monday, April 14th. I have a ICWA cover sheet. I have some other ICWA documents. It looks like the same cover sheet that maybe had been spaced out and reprinted. I have 2 letters from the Cherokee Nation, and I have the psychological evaluation from Dr. Parks dated 2/27/25. Is that what I should have?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Any objections? No objections. Thank you, they are received. Questions for this witness, Mr. Brooks?
How long has it been since my client has seen his kids?
His last visit was in December of 2024.
What is the minimum requirements you would have to allow him to start seeing his children again?
Engagement and compliance with mental health.
Ms. Beach, it sounds, sorry, the best analogies, it sounds like you're underwater.
I apologize. Can you hear me better now?
That's much better, yes. If you could start your answer over, please.
Okay. Engagement in and progress in mental health services is where we would start for that. And then reassessment by Dr. Parks and Ms. Moore regarding parenting time.
Now, my client just passed me a note here a few minutes ago, something about he's concerned that his oldest child is being molested, I guess, in Monroe County. Do you know anything about that? Jackson County?
So Mr. King did express concerns during that child's CTAC assessment that he had been molested when he was younger, and we called a complaint in, but there was not enough information to proceed with that complaint any further, but I'm not aware of any current concerns of molestation.
Do you, sir, you can't talk to me while I'm trying to cross-examine the witness. It doesn't work.
Well, it seems like nobody has their stuff together.
Mr. King, you've got to try to allow the proceeding to go forward so that we can look at the case. He's trying to refrain from interrupting. We need to finish the hearing, Mr. King.
Linus, I'm so sorry, but I have to
Do
right
you
now.
personally get involved with that older child, Mr.
Yes.
Dustin King Jr.?
Yes.
Could you give us an update on what his status is?
Yes, so like Ms. Underwood shared, we have had some concerns about Dustin's placement with his mother, who is a non-respondent. We've had concerns about educational neglect, and mom has reported sexual abuse concerns between the siblings in the home and has stated that Dustin may be the perpetrator. And then we have also had concerns about Dustin's mental health. He did express some suicidal ideations during this reporting period. So we initiated Lifeway services for him, and there are safety plans in place. But several CPS complaints have been made regarding the concerns that we have. And there is an open CPS investigation at this time, and referrals are being made to support the family as a whole to address the concerns that are present.
So things are not looking that great where he is either, right?
Correct, we have concerns.
You say that my client is not going to see or not following up with his meetings with either the department or with the service providers?
Correct. There was one family team meeting that was scheduled with you, Mr. Brooks, that he did not attend. And then Mr. King has said that he initiated services through Masterpiece in Tecumseh, but when we followed up with Masterpiece, they reported that he was not an established client there. So, and then we've asked him to initiate psychiatric services as well, and he's needed help to get those started.
And you're providing that now?
Yes.
So if he starts those programs and attends dependably, you will revisit the issue of parenting time, or at least visitation time?
Yeah, and that would be based upon his engagement in services and progress in services.
Nice. Thank you. That's all I have.
Questions, Ms. Underwood?
I have no questions.
Right. Ms. Beach, as I'm sure you're very familiar with the standard for suspending parenting time, can you help us or review the actual risk of harm associated with allowing Mr. King to have parenting time at this juncture?
Yes, I believe that his mental health and paranoid behavior could cause direct emotional harm to the children. The last visit that we had before suspension, he was very accusatory towards staff and was talking about case-related details in front of the children that were not appropriate and had to be redirected several times. But overall, just his own behavior and unstable mental health, I think could impact the children's emotional stability as well.
Thank you. Redirect Ms. Thomas.
Yes. Ms. Beach, based on that, the judge's question to you, Ms. Moore in her letter, did she also have safety recommendations for staff when meeting with Mr. King?
Yes, she said that even having 2 workers present may not alleviate the safety risks to being around Mr. King based on his behavior and paranoia.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any other questions, Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Underwood?
Ms. Beach, are there concerns that if Mr. King does have parenting time without his mental health being adequately treated, that the progress the children have made over the last several months would essentially be undone?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, any other witnesses today, Ms. Thomas?
I have no one else, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
I would like to call Mr. King, who seems to have a lot on his mind this morning.
Mr. King, come on up to our witness stand.
I want you to, if those are okay, you go ahead. I want him back.
Right now.
No,
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Mr. Brooks.
Mr. King, you seem unusually agitated this morning.
Very much so.
Tell me why.
I feel like I've been lied to about a lot of things since December.
By whom?
Fostering Solutions, taking my visitations away because they did not like the way I proceeded to protect my children or myself. With that matter being said, Leslie Conrad ripped Lincoln's arms up like this and slammed his the baby gate against him. I asked about grievances. The next day, my visits were taken. A few of their things are a little accusatory because they're, like I said, there's no cameras present, and there should be. After the initial November 22nd deal with all this that happened, I got my diagnosis of autism, or 3 mutated genes, which MTHFR gene, or MTHFR gene being mutated causes vitamin B6 to drop. Well, that is a mood stabilizer. Something this court needs to look into. My IQ is higher than 76. MSU parenting classes online.
What about it?
I've been taking them, so I don't understand why nobody has access.
Have you told anybody?
Oh,
you're
yes.
taking them? Who have you told?
Francisco Madrid. It seems like I need a new team or workers that's going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Services
They have
are on
expressed
waiting.
a certain amount of, I don't know, fear, anxiety.
Yeah,
about
it causes
their
a lot. It's caused a lot. I have a lot of fear on my,
safety. I'm talking about the caseworkers.
what do you mean?
Well, they've expressed fear that they don't want to be around you.
Well, that they want to express that fear because my stepdad was an alleged limo driver for somebody, whether I should speak on it today or not.
Well, I'm talking about your personal behavior.
And well, I that's why I'd like an advocate, because they don't like the way I am, and I wasn't from.
If the state took my children away, because they don't like the way I am, tomorrow I would be completely different. Tomorrow, if they told me that I had to attend a class in Alaska and I wasn't allowed to drive, I would start walking today. I mean, I don't get these parents who, when their kids are taken away, they blame everybody else and say how horrible everybody else is. It doesn't matter if they're horrible. It doesn't matter one bit if they're horrible. If the people that have your children are horrible, what does that matter? All that matters is that you do what you're supposed to do to get your children back. That's it. Going on the stand and complaining about everybody else in no way will get your children back. The judge is not going to say, oh, well, okay, you might as well take them back. You're better. You're the worst of two evils. That's not what they're going to say. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand some parents at all. Like parents who can just like go out for a pack of cigarettes and never come back. I don't. I'm telling you, my kids are adults, and like if Anthony's supposed to be home around midnight, and he gets home at 1, I'm quietly, without saying anything to anybody, freaking out. You know, I'm not texting him. I'm not saying, where are you? I'm not calling him 100 times. But, you know, I'm upstairs listening to every single sound because he's an hour late. 1 hour. I don't know what it would be like to not speak to my kids for 3 days. Just 3 days. I don't know what that would be like. I just don't get it. It just frustrates me to no end. There's some of my nieces and nephews I can't go more than 2 days without speaking to. And they're not even my children. You know, I don't understand.
From the day Lincoln was grabbed up, that's why they're stating this, because I decided to have a meeting with Francesca Madrid, John Bailey, and Ashley Beach. Well, they said, John said he wouldn't say a few things in court, but I wished he would, kind of like you. I want you to say Dustin from the frying pan to the fire, you know, or.
What is the context for that?
It's something you stated on the phone.
Yeah, but what are you talking about? You know, that's a common phrase, you know?
From having him for 140 days, we had a good relationship.
All right.
I took him to Torch Lake, I took him to Lake Michigan, I took him all around. My health got worse. I kept telling him that. He
I was in the middle of a rant, so I don't know if I said it. Hi, Walter.
knew that. Everybody knew that. Everybody kept saying, well, I want to see a diagnosis. I want to see this. Anna kept saying it. Many people kept saying it. My mother kept saying, well, parasites are real. And if they're cancer, well, that's why I never got an 8-year diagnosis. Well,
So
I don't
you
believe.
seem to be jumping around to a lot of different places.
I
And
am,
I'm
because
sure
my
if I'm
autism
having trouble.
and my ADD and my dyslexia.
Please let me finish the question. If I'm having trouble following you, I'm
Everybody
sure the
will.
judge is, okay? So let's try to stick to one subject at a time, not just jump to the next thing that comes to your head, okay?
Okay.
Now, they say that you are not dependable to show up for hearings, or not hearings, but for appointments with service workers. Did you hear them say
Okay,
that?
they stated that, but what day are they stating? They never stated a day. The day I missed it was with you and I explained it, and then they didn't explain nothing from the email. And I asked them to make a new one and they said, would you like Mr. Brooks there? And I said, yes, ma'am, I would. Francisca Madrid asked me that, I don't know, within the last 2 to 3 weeks. And then she was surprised at this last meeting that she went to downtown Adrian with me and she left and I didn't get to ask her.
Well, I was at that family team meeting.
Yeah, the one I missed, but they were supposed to make a new one and she asked me if you were gonna be involved, and I said, yes, I would love him there, because I don't like the way I'm being ran under the railroad.
The subject is why are you missing so many appointments.
I missed my phone appointment for the class online on the 15th. I told her that was the last day we had court. So then what happened? We rescheduled it. I got a phone the same day.
And then what? Did you make the next appointment?
The next parenting times, yes, but not the next family team meeting because it was never made. So a little accusatory goes both ways. I believe there's a two-way street in life. Whether me being me as an individual or the courts being the courts.
Are
Well,
there
there's checks and balances.
other meetings that you've missed?
I don't believe so.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the court at this point?
I believe that Leslie Conrad should be looked into about my kid having a gate slammed into him. She bit him with him running up front. I asked her, I said, can I go up there and get him? She said, no, you cannot. That was wrote in an email the other way around.
Who bit who?
Lincoln bit Leslie Conrad after she pulled his arms up. The worker at Fostering Solutions that works for John.
And how old is Lincoln?
5 years old now.
Okay.
She didn't like that. I said, well, he bites. I said, maybe you should be profound in autism, you know, find out about it like I have in the last 5 years. I found out that I'm autistic. Well, I'm on the way. So she ripped Lincoln up. And after that, after I got confrontational about it, because I was sitting back here and I decided to, not confrontational, but more so lack of words, sorry. I'd say I got upset where I used the correct words to say, hey, you have a job here to do. You shouldn't be doing that. I said, that's how I lost my child, or how they're saying I lost my child, because my children have sensory issues, which my daughter did not want her shoes on. Yeah. When Lee Jr. was the same way. When I first touched his feet to grass 12, 13 years ago, he lifted his feet right off the ground. Didn't even want nothing to do with it. I think we learn stuff every day.
We're trying to stay on your case, not things your children are doing, okay? Do you understand that you have to?
Yes, I do.
Make these appointments? Do you understand that?
My services are on the waiting list at not Fostering Solutions, Masterpiece and CTAC and Renee Moore.
Well,
so
you just heard the
caseworker. Right,
caseworker
and you
say.
just heard me too.
Can I speak?
Yes.
I want to try something, Fozzie. I want to know, wait, when you time someone out, does it remove all of your messages, or is that just when you ban someone or hide someone? I can't remember. I haven't modded in so long since the judge was live streaming on YouTube. When you just time someone out, does it take all of the messages away, or do you have to actually hide them? Everybody in here is blue. Everybody in here should know. I just don't remember because I'm getting old. I want to know if I remove all of Fozzie's messages, if he would still be number one, if that takes away XP. I can do it way at the very, 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 very end if you want. Nobody knows, Maiko? Linus. Okay, forget about it. Okay, just if you time them out for 10 seconds, it takes them all away? Or do you have to hide them? That's the question. Nan, you don't know? No, Nan never times people out. Yes. Yes. So you can remove. All right, ban or hide. All right, I need one of you with a crown to volunteer to lose your crown. I want to time you out for 10 seconds. So, or anybody with XP, let me just look. This is probably going to play my intro for a second. You're doing well? Yeah. Oh, it's black. We made it to Sunday. Shut up, Kathy. Okay. Let's just, I have an idea. I have a better idea so no one loses their shit. Here's the leaderboard right now. I'm going to go way down to the bottom. Walter, my man, you have 25 XP. I'm going to time you out for 10 seconds. And I just want to see if you lose your XP. And then you'll be okay. It's only 10 seconds. Just breathe through it. All right? Just breathe through it. I'm gonna do it over here so you don't see. That way it's not quite as bad. Oh, wait. I would have to scroll up for Walter's last comment. Ay. I see it. It wasn't that far. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now I want to look at this. Okay, you keep your XP if you get timed out. So you can't really knock someone off of a crown just by timing them out. That won't work. Walter, I appreciate you being the guinea pig for our little test here. You are very kind.
You just heard the caseworker state that she contacted Masterpiece and they don't know who you are.
On what day? Because I have an intake form that I went over there and took in. Maybe because it's the paranoia that I have from the Hoffa disappearance, allegedly.
Are you paranoid, sir?
Yeah, much so. Very much so. And I'm been lied to all my life about it.
Do you think that may be part of your sensory
Yes.
perception
Yes,
issues?
it's my sensory depth perception issue. You're correct. It's no other reason.
Do you think going to these service providers might give you A, insight, and B, some help
Oh, yeah.
in controlling that?
100%. But I need stress management with what I just said.
Then why don't you keep the appointments?
What do you mean? They ain't been made. Nobody's made them with me. What do you mean? You're coming at me wrong.
Well, according to the caseworker,
Right, but they're coming at me wrong.
According to the caseworker, you have not kept any appointments that you're supposed to keep.
We just went through this. Why are you asking me the same question?
Because you haven't
That's on
been very
record.
clear.
Review record.
Will you agree to keep your appointment?
Yes, as long as they give me them. I have missed them because of my autism, dyslexia, and my ADD. Now, stress management with all this going on, my kids are my regression. My kids not being here, my kids helped me get through the last 5 years of my life. Nobody knows that but me and my doctors and many people.
What doctors?
Well, let's see, John.
You ain't supposed to use your kids to get through shit, guy. It's the other way around. You're not supposed to use your children to get through something.
John Baker, Dr. Mike Mohammed Elderani from Dearborn, for one. He took a picture with him the first time he seen him because he's a fight doctor in Michigan. Life Medical Center. He said the same thing I said in there, but he'd probably lose his license if I said it on YouTube. I'm not going to say it.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
I'd like them to start finding a way to people's health a little more so than what the doctors are doing today. And
Could I
systems are
paraphrase
doing.
that by saying you're asking for,
A little bit of help, like I was told I was gonna get in life. And I've been misdiagnosed at 37 years old.
well, I'm just talking about since your kids were
But
born.
I'm just saying, since my kids were born, I've been autistic with 3 mutated genes for some reason. I don't understand it. But I hope the Human Health Secretary, Robert Kennedy Jr. gets down to the bottom of it.
For fuck's sake.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. King, you indicated that your oldest son, who's now with his mom, that you had a great relationship when he was with you for 140 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you keep him safe?
I tried my darndest, other than the time that he went with Kirsten. I can't control his
They did
behavior
get
when
my
he wasn't
beer.
on his
Yes,
medicine, when
yes.
his mother didn't send it. And I didn't like Hydrocef, so I couldn't get him into the other doctors.
So it's everybody else's fault?
No, it's not, but what you heard is the correct truth. And what I feel like you guys are doing is undermining me completely because of my disabilities or disorders, when there's many other people in this world that are continuing drug habits, and I know it. Like, I probably should stay online, because you guys know a factor in it. I already said so at my family team meeting.
What does that have to do with your children?
Well, it's got a lot to do with it when people
I've not either.
of the law choose and pick who they want to help and who they don't want to.
So,
You know, my dad was a cop for 24 years in Morenci, and I hadn't been in trouble until I was 24 years old. You do realize that, correct?
no, I have no knowledge of your
Oh, you
prior
should.
history. But Dustin, why do you feel like your minor kids were removed from your care then?
Because of my lack of interest of the health department in life, with my lack of health, when John Baker, John Kelly, it took me 8 years to get to a correct doctor to find out what's wrong with my health.
Okay, so have you provided any documentation to Fostering Solutions or to anybody in this case about your autism, ADHD, dyslexia, mutated genes?
Sure
or any of
have.
those
You
things?
guys are in lack of accordance to take care of the matters.
Can you provide, I haven't seen any documentation with respect to your diagnoses. Are you able to provide that to the
I
court?
can email it to you.
Okay.
If you give me an email address, you're right.
You can provide it to your attorney and he can provide it to
I
us.
provided it to, I think I got to provide it to him, but it is provided to my doctor, Mike Elderani.
Okay, can you have your doctors provide that to?
I signed release forms to Miss Beach. And like I said, you guys got too many cases in your matter. And we need a little bit more people. I don't like telling people how to do the job, but I'm sure I could.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. How the hell do you put it? How the hell do you put it on slow mode? What do you click? I don't see it. Look, I'm going to show you what I see. And you tell me what I'm doing wrong. Nothing there. All right, I'm going to go down here. Nothing there. How do you put it on slow mode? Like where do you click? Yeah, that's great that you did it, but how do you do it? Is the question. I never had to worry about this before. Nope, I don't want to show that, whatever it is. It's just like pulling teeth getting answers today. It's just like pulling teeth. I swear. Y'all know.
Contract somewhere along that line, because my brother is pretty smart. He's sitting pretty well placed in life.
So what have you done in your case service plan over the last reporting
Well, I
period?
took my classes. I missed probably 2, I believe. I'd like to get more from Tyler, but I'm not going to have a queer in my corner because I'm not with things like that. And that's why he chose to not want anything to do with me, apparently. I have to get my phone screen fixed to be able to give text message information, or you guys can get that yourself from him.
So I
He
apologize.
went back and forth.
Who is Tyler?
Tyler Kurkowski, I think. I can't say the last name correct.
And what was his role in your case?
Supposed to be able to give more services.
And you were refusing those because of his
No, I
sexual
didn't
orientation?
I didn't refuse them. He refused them because I didn't give him a correct day.
You just indicated
No,
something
no,
about
no,
his
hold on.
orientation.
That's not the complete reason. The complete reason is he told me that I had to choose a day, and I forgot to choose a day. So I said, can we go farther? He said, nope. I asked Francisca or Ashley if I could have somebody else, and nobody's giving me anybody else.
You indicated you refused to work with him anymore because he's.
I have
quote,
fear,
unquote.
I have
Can you please let me
phobias.
finish my question?
Sorry.
So you're indicating you're refusing to work with that person because of his sexual orientation?
I have phobias.
I just changed it to hold all comments and it didn't work. You guys all kept talking like nothing happened. I don't feel in control now. Now I'm gonna, kick a cat or something because I need to take my power back. I need control again. I'm not actually gonna kick a cat, but why do I want to?
Do you believe that your mental health needs to be treated?
No, I believe what my mental health problem is. I just stated it on record. I'm going to do it once more. I believe what is wrong with this world is a lack of obedience to find the scientists that matter to get things done. If I have to become one, I will. I cannot advocate for my children right now, like John Bailey told me, but I'm the one that advocated to figure out Lincoln has autism. That's what you guys are lacking to understand. Your guys' lack of accountability in my life, it misdiagnosed me at 37 years old. That is a big widespread problem with me.
What does that have to
Because
do?
I lost a child 2 years ago due to pneumococcal antibodies that were given to Kirsten before my daughter was born.
Judge, I have no further questions. This isn't going anywhere. Thank you.
Okay, and you redirect Mr. Brooks?
No.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. Any other witnesses, Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor.
Is there one?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I believe that this hearing has been demonstrative of the concerns that the service providers have reported, the concerns that the agency continues to have. The agency has continued to offer reasonable efforts to ensure that Mr. King can comply with his case service plan, and his lack of personal accountability or responsibility prohibits or inhibits him from being able to do so. And in that, there's extreme paranoia, extreme mental health concerns here that really do need to be addressed. And until they are, he does remain a risk of harm to his children and likely to himself and others. So, Your Honor, we are asking the court to continue the suspension of his parenting time, to set this for another 90-day review, and to monitor his progress. The agency will continue to do what they can. But, Your Honor, clearly it's very, very hard to even have a conversation with him. So thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
My goal here today was to try to impress on Mr. King how important it is that he make and keep his appointments with service providers. I hope it's sinking in and that he does do exactly that. Because
All my fault. Yeah, totally.
Okay, Mr. King, you've got to stop interrupting. You're welcome to wait in the hallway if you can't. Remain calm. It's on YouTube, so if you need to watch it later, you can. Go ahead, Mr. Brooks.
if he can't, we aren't going to get anywhere. He needs to go. He doesn't even need to agree with these things, but he does need to show that he's willing to put himself out
You're
there.
getting dizzy. I don't
so that he-
understand. I'm not doing anything. Is it the chat? Is it the video? Is the video doing something? What's going on? Use words, guys. I can fix it if you tell me what the problem is.
He can get parenting time with his children. And I hope he listens to this. If he has other issues, I just don't know what they are. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood.
Your Honor, these cases are very difficult because as the LGAL, a lot of times I do believe that, you know, again, it's important for children to maintain a bond and parenting time with their parents. But on the same token, it needs to be safe for the children, and it needs to be, the parents need to be able to provide some type of benefit to the children during their time that they have. Unfortunately, Mr. King, it almost seems like his behavior and his mental health is deteriorating over the course of this case, as he's not only demonstrating now, but he also demonstrated on the stand, and has demonstrated it every time I have attempted to communicate with him.
Mr. King, I am having a lot of trouble hearing Ms. Underwood, and I'm going to have to ask you to step into the hallway if you continue to interrupt.
It's unfortunate that I would also have to agree that parenting time for Mr. King with his children is contrary to their best interest, as his mental health is not well, and it's a sad situation that he's in. However, it is really up to Mr. King to take action. The department can only do so much. I would agree with Ms. Thomas that the department has made reasonable efforts, if not active efforts, to be honest. This has been a very complicated case, and they've had all hands on deck here. We've had Ms. Bernie Moore involved. Again, we've had Jackson DHHS involved. We have tried to work together for the safety and benefit of all 4 of these children. And they're all doing better than they were when they were in Mr. King's care. So for those reasons, I would ask that parenting time continue to be suspended for Mr. King, that we have a standard 90-day review, and that the children all remain where they're continuing to be at now, as that is the safest and least restrictive environment. Thank you.
Well, the record should reflect all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's hearing, which was a review as well as a permanency planning hearing. But it is in fact the first review for Mr. King, who has had to be asked to leave the courtroom in order to avoid further disruptions. I want to just note for the record also that he was provided with a pen and paper in order to try to alleviate his need to communicate verbally with his attorney. And he was able to utilize that in some respects, but in many respects, that was not enough to avoid the interruptions. And it resulted in him being asked to be excused from the courtroom at this time. The question of the goal was not thoroughly addressed by the attorneys or the investigation by the department today. I'm going to leave it at reunification, noting that our next review will also be a permanency planning hearing to look at whether or not there's been enough progress to allow the goal to remain unification.
I noticed.
This time, the reasonable efforts provided by the agency in this case, Fostering Solution, are certainly adequate, as are the efforts made by Ms. Underwood in her capacity as guardian ad litem, as are the efforts of our attorneys. It is a complicated case, and I think Mr. Brooks has done a great job in trying to
I was
communicate.
aiming
with
for
his client.
Anna. Yay,
In this case,
Casey.
is
Thank
have
you.
all of our caseworkers. The issue of missed appointments for Mr. King is one that impacts the question of whether or not his parenting time could be reinstated. Mr. Brooks did a great job of trying to bring that home for Mr. King today, and I'm going to review for the record some of the things that continue to stand in the way of allowing the court to reinstate parenting time. I'm going to start first with comments about the psychological evaluation, which Mr. King did attend, but I don't know that I've ever, maybe one other case I've ever seen a psychological evaluation come back and say that parenting time should be suspended until someone has had a period. In this case, the recommendation is a period of mental stability for at least 6 months with no hospitalizations, demonstrating control of his emotion, not displaying any psychotic behavior, along with progress on the above goals before supervised visits could be considered. He was referred to Ms. Moore. He was referred to Adrian Psychiatric and Counseling. He did not make either of those appointments. He has consistently indicated he's not interested in taking any medications. He reports some diagnoses, but those have not been verified. And he's not cooperating with additional referrals in order to do that. There were some other things that were missed opportunities for him as well. Of course, the ACPC psychiatric evaluation and assessment hasn't completed the substance abuse disorder screening or any testing on those points, despite insisting that THC can be used in order to medicate some of his self-reported diagnoses. And of course, the dangers associated with high concentrations of THC with psychological disorders is very well known. And that continues to obviously be a risk that would affect the security of his children during parenting time. He was referred to Orchard's Family Assistance Programming, which is an assisted parenting time program, which has supervisors as a high structure. He was referred back in February. They attempted twice to initiate those services with Mr. King, and they have since ceased their attempts since those were not successful. He has had some domestic violence counseling in the past, but obviously that's been inefficient or ineffective given the issues present at the outset of the case around domestic violence that have affected his children, his relationship with his partner. He's been referred to domestic violence counseling and has not attended that either. So all of these missed opportunities continue to contribute to, I think, what Ms. Thomas rightly pointed out today, which is a continued decompensation of the mental health of Mr. King. Ms. Underwood also confirms that this and her own observations. And of course, it's nothing against Mr. King, but the priority of this court is to ensure that the children of Mr. King have a safe environment. And at this time, due to the risk associated with allowing parental contact between Mr. King and his children, I am not able to reinstate that. He has to address those mental health issues. That's supported by a psychological evaluation, that's supported by Ms. Brene Moore, that's supported by our guardian ad litem, our caseworker, and frankly, by the court's own observations during the testimony of Mr. King, rather consistently over the course of the past few years. We'll look at parenting time again, of course, in the next report period. All of those same reasons, coupled also with the fact that he has not disclosed really any other residence other than his mother's, which he's refused to allow to be assessed for safety and has been reported in the past as being unsafe, unsuitable. He hasn't reported or allowed any verification of income. So really in some of the basic areas as well, Mr. King continues to struggle, likely because of those unaddressed mental health issues. But of course, we won't be able to do anything more by extension through the department or the agency until and unless he's decided to cooperate with services. But some of those basic need pieces are still not being met either, in addition to the risks associated with his mental health. So there's many reasons, unfortunately, that the children could not be returned to Mr. King today, nor allowed to engage in parenting time. I will note that there are a lot of concerns that I share with Mr. King about his child's placement. Those have been continually discussed by the attorneys. And I would hope that in the next report period, we could look at that. I'm going to appoint Dustin Jr. An attorney to try to advocate for him in the next few hearings, considering that he's also objected to his placement.
No, I think
got some pretty,
we saw
legitimate
enough
objections on that.
to know.
So appoint him an
It's just
attorney
this one.
and look at that a little more
Hi,
seriously
Eric.
in the next report period. We'll do our next review in 3 months, which puts us into August. Schedule this for Monday, August 11th at 10:30 in the morning for an hour and a half. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck, Mr. Brooks.
Sounds like we have, well, it looks like we have a couple people in here that that watch that stream regularly. I don't play it enough because I mean it's a YouTube judge, so you know how I feel about that. Speaking of YouTube judges, 2 things. First thing is this whole week I think I'm going to only do YouTube judges, the big ones, Simpson, Middleton. I think that, no, my internet, are you kidding me? It's fine. So there's going to be a slight change this week to my content. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to show you why. Which brings me to my second thing. I have a favor to ask. So this right here is my last video. I think it was 20 minutes that I put out. It was 100% just subscribers that watched it. Within the last day or two, I finally got 3% not subscribers. And what that means is that YouTube is not picking me up and showing me to any other people right now. They just aren't. My channel is not going into anybody's bucket to show up on their home feed. A lot of my subscribers, not a lot, but enough for me, have been unsubscribed. So you might have to resubscribe, just make sure you're subscribed. And I've had comment after comment on my lives and videos that people thought I stopped streaming because I'm not showing up in their feeds anymore. People like that they haven't watched in years are showing up in their feeds and not me. So no, you don't have to share or anything. You don't have to do anything. But when I put out a video there, if you watch it to the end, even if it's in the background, that would help a lot. So if I put out a video or a short and you leave before it's over, then so what YouTube does is you put out a video, short, a live stream or whatever, and it watches it for like an hour. All right, that's just a made up number I just made up. It watches it for an amount of time. And it counts how many people have watched it till the end and how many people have clicked away. All right. If you watch it to the end, if there's enough people that watches it to the end within that first hour, in that first bucket that it sent it out to, which is just a few people, then it'll move on to the next bucket. And if people watch it to the end, it'll move on to the next bucket and the next bucket. So that's the way it works. Now, right now, it's hard. It's really hard because it's not showing it to anybody except for a few of my subscribers. Not all of my subscribers, just a few of my subscribers. And a lot of you are only finding out that I'm streaming and I have videos and everything because I post the live streams in Discord. So I guess I'm going to have to put the shorts and the videos in there too, which is annoying. I hate sending messages out at everyone. I hate it. But I'm going to. I have to. So it's going to take a couple more months. I'm working very hard. Every day I try to put out shorts, videos, and live streams to try to break free from this YouTube shadow ban is what it is. I'm working very hard. If you can, if possible, if I put something out, if you just watch it to the end, like just play it until the very end, even if I'm muted, it will tell YouTube that it's worth watching to the end, and then it will open up another bucket. And when it opens up another bucket, that's where I got this 3%. And it took days. It took days for me to get this 3%. I was posting the screenshots in poor mod chat. The poor mods have to listen to me whine all the time about this. So I'm going to do two things next week. First, I'm going to ask you to watch it to the end. Second, I think I'm going to do some YouTube judges. Because I think if I get some Judge Simpson keywords in my description, that will, I really, you know what I really hate is you guys are going to come to my stream and you guys are going to be like, oh, I saw this before. Oh, it's going to kill me. But what I'll try to do is my videos that I put out will be different judges. It's just going to be 1 week. I just have to test it and see if it works. So we'll have fun though, even if we watched it before. Thanks, Miguel. Yeah, everybody knew I muted myself for the last 2 minutes. It's okay. Takes me about, I don't know, 30 minutes to 40 minutes to do one short. It takes me about 8 or 9 hours to do one live stream. And I do 3 shorts, and then videos that might take me another hour or 2. Plus I work a job. So I did not have time to rewatch my video. I was getting it done as fast as I could because courts were about to open and I had to get off the computer. So I didn't know I was muted. But thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And don't worry, this week will go fast with the YouTube judges. It'll go real fast and we'll make it fun. Yo, I missed your call. I almost got to speak to Nan on the phone and I didn't. That sucks. All right, I guess I need to show this though before I leave. I wish I could just pop out the leaderboard instead of everything else that goes with it. So just so you know, these guys are all number 1. They all have 225 XP. And I say this every single time. These guys are number 2. And number 3 is almost everybody else. Thank you for chatting. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to get to OJ, and OJ's going to go long today because there's no courts that are opening, so I can do that. Have a great day, guys. I really appreciate you. I really do. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes near a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each stream, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a wake, there's no alarm. Screaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh